EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and this one is underway here on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Reset. 18. Watch forward. Watch twist. Hey, 59. Check 37. Check 37. Hey, 59. Hey, 59. Slam. Wide.
On first down, it's Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of two. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
Now it's Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive. They're going for it. It's Watson. And he finds Stills, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 26 and a conversion there as well on fourth down.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up first and 10 at the 43. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And some good running out of the gates as he takes this up to the 33. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Watson with a give to Miller. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
That's another Texans first down.
On first down, Watson. That's going to be caught. Called out a very strong gain of 24.
Every coach we ever talk to says to his team before the game, quick start, guys. Let's get out of the gate fast. How about that? They took his lesson to heart, didn't they?
They did exactly that. A nice diving catch. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Texans take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken short. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 32-yard line.
It's a game of 25 yards. And the Vikings.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 32-yard line. Cousins gives way to Cook. Had a nice move but can't break away. Down just inside the 30. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. After 7-0 on EA Sports.
At the 29-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Give to Cook out of the gun. And an alley to run. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
From the 17, Cousins. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Whitney Merciless, showing no mercy, flies in for the sack. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up, and the offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd down, it's Miller. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
A gain of 4 yards. And the Texans.
2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score.
Let's go.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston 1st down. From the 50, it's Watson. Going for the deep ball. This is caught at the 20. That goes for a gain of 31.
But we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. It looks so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
Mike spot 4. Stay with your man. Hey, watch out.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. The kick by Fairbairn is good, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
This will be taken very short.
Let's go, boys. Bring it over.
1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half. Does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do? Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
Did I just see what I thought I saw? Did I just see what I thought? That had to be. Come on, say it for me. Say it for me. Who picked up that pass?
It's a free safety.
Oh, you got to have those great skills back there. Eyes, anticipation, great hands. And, of course, how about the fluid moves afterwards to take it all the way to the house?
Sounds like you're watching your old game film up here in your head.
Yeah, that's the dream I had of being that player. I just never was.
At their own 24-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you get this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down.
25, check 25, check 25. Check 50, check 50.
They go play action. Cousins. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. So now 2 pick 6s that he's thrown in this first half of play. Where do you go from here?
Well, number 1, make sure you keep your poise. Make sure you go to the sideline after throwing this second one, and you look like you're still in charge, that you're still the guy, because your team's going to feed off of you. And if you're having your hands on your head or shaking your head and walking with your head down, guess what? They're not going to rally at all.
This will be taken short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
At their own 31-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time here for likely 1 play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people think...
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far, as we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken very short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
At their own 31-yard
line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. Oh, this is becoming tough to watch. I don't know that I've seen 3 pick 6s from the same quarterback in the same game.
And I know that many are going to scream at the coach about why did you let him stay out there to throw those. But truthfully, what are the odds that you're going to throw 3 pick 6s in a game? You want to leave him out there so they can work through some of the rough stuff.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 39. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
At the 27-yard line.
Check 55.
Again, it's Miller. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Check 13.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. But the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Mike 54.
On 4th down, Watson. And that is going to be incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And the return will be stopped at the 34.